was a long countdown today. Maybe it's my mood. I'm like, come on, let's go.
I think we're just so used to it being cut short. Like some reason it just doesn't work. We're not used to
Yes.
the
Yep.
long one.
Or I forget to push the go button or something
You
like that.
know.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you for not calling me out. Oh, yeah.
I have to
I'm
share a
so
little.
glad we here. I want the distraction.
I know,
It's probably
right?
the first time I've smiled today. So thank you,
There you
ladies.
go.
Oh, some
Our
days are
goal,
like
make her
that.
face hurt.
Yep, make my face hurt. Ah.
In reference to time and waiting for that timer to go down every morning when my cup of bone broth is in the microwave, I'm always shocked how much I can get done in 3 minutes. And I'm constantly looking at the timer, like, it's not going off yet. All right, I'll do some more wiping down counters or whatever. And then the opposite is also true, right? When we're distracted by things that, like social media rabbit hole.
Yeah, and it's an hour has gone by, and it looked like,
and you're
right?
like, oh, holy crap! But where did that go? Yeah,
Right.
it's so true. Yeah,
It is so funny. I did that when I'm at my daughter's house. I have a routine. Like I have a miracle morning. I have a routine. So one of my things I do at my daughter's house is I go downstairs to make coffee. And I do pour over coffee, and so while I'm getting all that water and the water's boiling and I'm waiting, I empty the dishwasher and I play a game to see if I can get it emptied by the time the water boils, and I always win.
Hey,
That's
if you
awesome.
want to come play that game at my house, Tanya, I
Right?
mean, anytime you want, I will make the coffee and you can do my dishes.
Yep. Yeah, and sometimes I wipe down the counters if they weren't done the night before, and then there's some dishes that didn't make the dishwasher. They're in the drying bin, and I'm like, oh, I can get all this cleared up. I do. I play the fun. That's probably not something I want to admit out loud, that the games I play with myself.
Hey, if it gets you through the day, that works.
Hey, now everybody knows how weirdly competitive I am. I mean, if there's a way to find a competition in it, I find it.
That's too funny.
Yeah,
That is not
I
me.
do.
That is not me, but you know my thing with dishes, right? I think I've told you this before. My thing with dishes is I listen to Hans Zimmer music, which is like epic movie music, so
Yep.
that when I'm doing something mundane, I'm not just doing mundane. I'm like saving the world with every dish.
Dramatic.
Super dramatic.
Here comes Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So funny.
That is so funny.
Which is also what gets me. You saw Move, and that's so funny because do you guys have? This is a completely different move, but you know how we get sidetracked with social media or whatever we're in, and we
Mhm.
know we need to change gears, right? Like we're in this moment, we're doing something that probably isn't what we need to be doing, or we're distracted with some menial tasks that don't need to happen, and we know we need to go start doing this. Of course, it was a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever. But do you guys have something that you have that will immediately get you into the right mindset?
No.
You don't? I do. Well, for me is looking at my calendar, and it's always my Franklin planner is always open and always next to me. So one of the things, again, I'm admitting some of the things I don't know I want to be admitting today. But so here's another confession is, and in fact, I even committed to you, Charlotte, and I haven't followed through, is doing the videos and then running them through the programs and taking your class. And for my coach, I have committed over 2 weeks ago to get her 7 videos, and I haven't made one. So, and so in this instance, and again, I give myself, because it's not an excuse, it's life stuff that's happening right
Sure.
now, right? And so I'll get emotional. In an excuse type environment, it is really truly looking at my planner and going, yeah, I committed to that. And then I do it. It's very rare I don't follow through. Right now, it's life that's getting in the way.
So yours
And
is like
that's
a
different.
to-do list via the calendar, basically, is yours.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the ones that absolutely have to be done that day get a star or a circle or something, where it's like,
Right.
yeah.
Mine is totally music. So if I'm doing whatever I'm doing, if I switch on the right kind of music, like give me, and the music will change depending on my mood, but I know that I've just got to switch my script. I got to rewire my brainwaves. So I
Yeah.
just play a different type of music or play something normally classical or movie music, or if I really need something to really hype me up, if it's something that's that I need to do that's a task that I hate doing, like my expense reports. Like I really hate doing expense reports. This right brain girl doesn't like that stuff. So for that, I would put in like dubstep, which is like techno
Yep.
heavy.
Mhm.
But if I get that going, if I've got that on, it's like my brain knows I have to do this to this music and I can't stop until it's done. And
Yeah.
it gets me
Well,
there.
That's good.
and you are way more intense than I am, but I do know when I put on a song like Tom Petty, Learning to Fly,
Yeah.
I do then go do something that's totally productive. Yes.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
there's the triggers, right? That just
Yep.
make you like, okay, I am in that zone. I'm in that flow.
All right, Karen, we got to get you on board. What's the song for you?
Yeah, well, it's funny because as we're talking about this, you know, if I've been at my desk too long before I head out to meet with clients and such, you know, the energy level at the desk is so different than face to face, right? So it is always 80s rock band music.
Oh, the
that I put
ballads.
on.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
you know, it has to be loud and the windows are down and
Yep. There you
the
go.
whole thing. But it does change super quick. It's
Right.
effective. Let's say that.
Yeah.
So
So accurate.
Awesome.
yeah.
So today I wanted to talk about the word move, because and in moving in many different ways, not just like we had said, not just moving from house to house, which I am in the process of moving from state to state, house to house, all that kind of stuff. And it's amazing to me. And I'm not a first time home buyer. I'm not a first time home seller. I'm not a first time move from state to state. Even by myself as a single woman, because I moved from Texas to California as a single woman. So none of this is new for me, and it is still scary and stressful.
Mhm.
It is. And not that I'm not doing it, I'm handling it. And hopefully and I know you ladies both know what's going on in my life. If I'm not handling it, tell me, especially you, Karen, right? I think I'm handling it.
You're handling it.
But what about in your world? So what about the other kinds of moves? Charlotte, you
Yeah.
go first. What about the other kind of moves?
You know, I don't know if there is a move, whether it be from household to household, state to state, out of an apartment to another apartment. It's stressful. And then you take the moving from a company to a company. And a lot of times those two things go together, which makes it even more
Right.
crazy. So yeah, I mean, when you're talking about moving, the scariest move I think for a lot of people is going to be either the stress of going from state to state, like what you just said. That's just, you know, they say that relocating is one of the highest stress things people go through. And then they say that moving from one job to the other job is another
Right.
thing that's
And we're
super,
doing
super
both
high
of them.
stress. And a lot of times we're doing both
Or
of them.
and then throw a divorce in there, because that's the
Oh,
one I
yeah.
did. Yeah.
That happens a lot too. You see that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah,
It's really tough.
it's very interesting. You know, a lot of what keeps the ball rolling in real estate, right? Our lifestyle changes, marriage, divorce, you know, kids having more children moving out, all of which are stressors themselves. And then when they prompt a move along with it, that's a lot.
Yep. It is a
And I
lot.
found that aversion to that, you know, we know that we like to be in the state of same, right? That's just our body's natural thing.
Yeah.
And what Karen, you and I both are in that recruiting seat, and helping people acknowledge that it's time to make a move, even though it doesn't matter how amazing the next place is going to be. That in between it's a change, and it is scary and it is hard. I don't care how I think our company does the most amazing job at getting people onboarded and trained, but it's
Yeah.
still change.
It
So
is.
I think probably my biggest challenge of my job is, one, calming people down when they're moving, but also helping people recognize when it's time to make a move, because we get real comfortable with same.
Right.
Yeah.
Real comfortable with same.
Even when we know that it's not the right place for us, right? Because the
Yes.
fear of the change, or the fear of, maybe it's not even fear, maybe it's just knowing how hard it's going to be, the energy that it's going to take. I mean, I always tell people that whether they're moving houses, moving states, or moving companies, double up on your vitamins, right? Because
Yeah.
your brain is going to be taxed, your physical being is going to be taxed, and that's going to help you.
Yeah, no, I agree. And there's also there's that interim to where you're trying to make the decision, And I have found that, I know with me, if I sit on it for too long, that stress level just goes up and up and up. There's
Yeah.
at some point you got to go with that gut. Like
Yeah.
you got to know, there was some reason that made me think that I needed to make a move, right? There was something that triggered that. But then you're going to just your brain wants to stay same. So it's going to
Mhm.
constantly sit there and say,
Right.
no, 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 don't change, don't
Mhm.
change. You have to kind of go with like, no, no, wait. What was the reason I wanted to move? What was the reason that I wanted to make this move? What was the reason I wanted to make a move from California to Oregon,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
That's stressful. You have to remember the why. And your brain is going to constantly make you sit there and self-doubt yourself. I mean, no
Yeah.
matter what the move is, moving is change by definition.
That's
So
right.
it's hard to get over that. That is I'd say in my line of work, the hardest thing is knowing that somebody needs to change.
Yeah.
Seeing, and I've had this. I can see like this wonderful gem of a person. I know, Karen, you've been there. It's
Yep.
like you see this gem and they could just blossom, but to change them, to get them to get into that uncomfort zone for just a little bit, it's
Yeah.
hard. It's tough.
Along the lines of what you're talking about, when they see that they need to make a change, but time can be against them, right? Because they're just thinking about how hard it is. And I'll go back to production with this, but I wrote an offer last week for a client, and it was just simply a great place for them. And the seller was so slow to reply. When we finally got the reply, the buyer said they actually gave us too much time and we talked ourselves out of it.
Wow.
Yeah, which is, an absolute shame, of course. But along those lines, I mean, for us while we're recruiting, I think keeping that in mind too, right? We need to help them make a decision in a timely manner.
Yep. Absolutely. And that's really a shame. And a couple of things I want to throw in there when you're talking about, yes, we want stability, right? Yes, we want to stay in our comfort zone. You can't hear me? Did I lose it? Can you hear me, Karen?
I can hear you, but Charlotte's screen went blank for a moment, so I have a feeling it might be her internet.
Yeah.
She's going to come
All right,
back.
she'll be back. Yep. All right, we'll give her a minute. Hold on. Here she comes.
Okay.
Here we go.
Hi.
I
There
can
you
hear
go.
again. So the message came through, and all of a sudden my sound just went away. Like, wait.
Well, and your screen went completely black when that happened.
Oh, okay. Something happened.
Yep.
I don't know what
Yep.
it was.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw a little bit more into the mix besides comfort zone and being comfortable and it being scary. We got to now put in there loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
So then there's that feeling of loyalty that, right? Because I know I'm guilty of staying in a relationship too long, and you ladies are both going to go, oh, hell yes, she did. Right?
Yes.
Right? But
Right.
there's loyalty. So for me, it's loyalty. This is not one for me, but this is very common for other people, is they don't want to go to the other broker or the other mortgage company and now have to sit down and have that conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that conversation's the worst. And I've been
Yeah.
there. We've all been there, right? We know.
Yeah.
That sucks. But man, do you remember how good it felt when you just did it?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's done.
I would say that most candidates that I try to recruit that don't come over to join us stay where they're at, as opposed to going to a different company that they're also
Correct.
right, because of that
Mhm.
comfort and what you're saying about like not disappointing people and just the car knows how to get to the office on its own where it's
Yeah.
at, but if it goes elsewhere, I mean, I can remember silly little things like just how to turn in when I was W-2, how to turn in your time and how to turn in your expense reports. All of that took so much more work when it was a different place for a while, and then it becomes normal.
Normal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
You talk about how fast you can unload the dishwasher, right? Challenge you for the first couple of weeks when you're in Oregon and you forget which cupboard you put the glasses in for it to beat the coffee.
That is a challenge that I know. I mean, I've lived in this home 7 years and I still can't find my glasses and my keys. So
That's pretty funny.
I need an air tag on my glasses. I have an air tag on my keys.
So you just need some meta glasses. Let's just go there. My girls at my office gave me some meta glasses for Christmas. And you can actually, do you know what I'm talking about? The Ray-Ban Metas. They are smart glasses and you can put your prescription in them and they connect to your phone and they have Find My iPhone on them. You can,
Find my
you can take
glasses.
you can take pictures just like that and you can say like, hey Meta, what's whatever, just like Siri, except for it's right there. It's pretty fantastic.
Wow, that's like a James Bond movie.
It
No
really
kidding.
is. Actually, that's exactly like what it is, except for they
That's
don't blow
so
up.
pretty.
No blowing up. They don't blow up that I know of.
Wow.
That's pretty funny.
All right, ladies. So I want you guys to brag on yourselves. So Karen, you go first on this one. So what do you do to make someone's move comfortable, profitable, right? Efficient, effective, any of the words you want to use. What do you do in your brokerage to make that move easy?
Well, we have checklist. Thanks to you, of course.
Of course.
And we don't throw it all at them at one time, right? So we bring them in, obviously get them settled and so that they're comfy and cozy. And then we have not just myself, but then also our admin. She has her role too. So they're not just having to listen to me talk. They've got two voices, which is, I think, a lot more comfortable. And we just kind of spoon feed tasks. So they'll have 4 tasks the first week, and then that's it. And we don't even talk about the other tasks. And I mean tasks in terms of, setting up all their online profiles to now match the brokerage that they're at, right? Order and approve their business cards and their signs, all of these little simple things. And we just take it a little bit at a time. Fortunately, they're generally still in the same MLS system, so they don't have to like learn any kind of new programs there.
Yeah.
And then, at some point we actually get into like our programs and that sort of thing, but not right away. We just kind of want to help them feel comfortable where they're at. Again, help make sure the car can automatically go to the office.
Right. And I don't mind the spoon feeding in this instance.
And I know, I knew I was.
So I had to qualify that.
Charlotte, I am constantly in trouble for spoon feeding.
Oh, gotcha. I get the little bit or overgiving, I guess, right? Overgiving. Yeah.
Well,
with
and
us-
I love the giving. So it feels ouchy when you guys say over giving, and I'm like, oh, I want you to give. However, there's a point where they do need to be able to swim on their own too.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit of over delivering,
Right. You want to help up, not hand out, right?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The difference in the world.
I get most frustrated with myself when I have to repeat a lesson as opposed to the person who I'm trying to teach a lesson to, because I know it's more me and my teaching style, because I want to just do,
Right. Yeah, it's hard. It takes more time to teach. That's the reality. And when you're busy, it's like, oh crap, let me just do it for you real quick.
Yeah. Right.
My
Exactly.
husband gets on me all the time. It is hard.
Doing that again.
Yeah. Right. And then you end up doing it like 10 times. No, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Now,
So how do you make the transition? What's that transition look like in your world, Charlotte?
So in our world, first of all, I have to give Atlantic Bay like tons of credit, because they have really put a ton of effort into the onboarding system. They do a week. The first week, they figure we're going to just, even if you've done LOS, which is your loan origination system, they're all a little bit different. Even if it's the same exact program, it's structured a little bit different. So we spend the first week focusing on how do you put a loan in? Because when you come over, you probably have loans. So that's number one. And then number two, we go into, okay, so now what do you have available to you when it comes to marketing and business development? And because we say the Cheesecake Factory menu. We have the Cheesecake Factory menu of things that you want, and you're not going to use all of them, but you need to know what you want more training on. And then we get your social media. So we kind of take you through. It's a 4-week onboarding, which is unheard of. Now, that doesn't mean you're spending 4 weeks of 9 to 5. It's 4 weeks of just little by little getting you embedded. And then for the first 90 to 120 days, we have a specialist in the company that is just there to answer questions for new people, which is like, she knows all the systems.
Wow.
You don't know the answer in 5 minutes, she gets it for you. So that's really cool. But the thing that I do that's a little bit different in the company is we normally start everybody on Monday. It's just the way that the onboarding works. Well, I always meet with whoever I'm going to hire we start them on Friday. And the reason that we do that is because they're going to be thinking, how do I do loans? What are all these things? And before they even start that path, they've quit their job, right? So they're not working at the other company. I get 24 hours. I get 1 day with them to where what we're going to do is plan their next 12 weeks for business growth. That's all I care about. They're about to move, and we want to, because moving, it's scary, but you guys have all seen this. When somebody moves, their business picks up. It happens every single time. There is this window where when there's the announcement of the move, people are curious, they're nosy, and they reach out to you. It's just the time. So I want to capture that. So I spend that day, and all we do, no computers. We have a notebook and paper, and we are writing down for the next 12 weeks what we're going to do to absolutely capitalize on that and really just kind of come over with a bang. So that's a little bit
That's
different.
cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. But that's
That's
your superpower. And, you know, and I know both of you want your agents to be extremely successful.
Yes.
We
Yes.
do.
Officers, agents, whatever you want to call them. People, you're
Right.
humans. As
And
I
the
do.
reality,
You
yeah.
know, we all do. That's the three of us. That's our superpowers.
Right.
Yeah.
no, that's exactly right. Look at my son with his wisdom.
I
The quality of
know.
one's life is determined by the ability to accept change. He got it from his mama.
Of course. Take credit where credit is due.
Can I brag on this kid for a second?
Yes.
Because I'm going to just take a second. So the, you know, in our position and in our jobs, and especially when we're changing and doing new things, it is really easy to have your highs and your lows, right? You just have those moments. And a couple weeks ago, you know, I put a lot of effort into recharging with champions, and it is, you give all of your heart, right? You just give everything. And at some point you're like, is it ever going to come back to me? Right. Well, this child in the middle, for no reason, sent me a text message that says, Mom, I just happened to look at your Recharging with Champions site and your videos. Now, I didn't ask him to. This was unsolicited. He goes, you are going to be the most amazing speaker. You're going to have a stadium full of people that are going to come watch you. I'm just blown away that you're my mom. This is really cool. Like, it's just like out of the blue. I'm like, son just absolutely lifted me up. I mean, that was awesome.
That is so awesome.
And I bet he didn't even ask for anything afterwards.
You know, he did not. Not a thing.
I knew it.
That's great.
Okay, my daughter did something similar a couple months ago. She texted me and she said, Mom, and I'm like, what? And she's like, how did you get so many followers on Instagram? I'm so impressed.
That's funny.
I'm like, social.
Right.
Yeah.
Lots of social. That's it.
Yeah,
No,
going
that's
on and
exactly
following
right.
and liking other realtors' posts and lenders' posts. And I
That's
work
right.
hard at it. She's like, well, I am impressed.
Oh.
You know, there's a little wisdom in that. We both were totally, did that change your day, maybe week?
Absolutely. I'm like, I am
We
impressed
need
with my
to be
27-year-old.
cognizant.
Yeah.
Anybody watching this, go out there and look at somebody that's busting their butt, trying to do all the things, and just give them that much notice, because you don't realize how much that goes. It really does. It goes a long way. I'm going to get on I'm going to be social tonight and find somebody
There
to
you
do that to.
I heard today someone say, you came into my heart today, and so I just had to reach out and talk to you. And I'm like, what a great thing to say to somebody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just a little note makes you feel so
Popped
much
into my
better.
heart today. And I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, that's
I
really
like
cool.
that.
I don't follow through by reaching out. I intend to, but the reaching out doesn't really take that long. So just like we said about, like, you know, changing our channel, right? Turning on our music, that should just be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 works most of the time for me. Like, again, these videos and what's just is for, you know, reasons a little bit out of my control, that's not working. So
Right.
hopefully this weekend it'll get done. But yeah, I love 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll give Mel Robbins full credit on that one.
That's great. And I will say that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is what I use to turn on the music.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
You know, it says it's a dial, right? I've got to get there.
That's funny.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, music on. Okay, now I can go do what I need to do.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh me.
So I know I'm putting you on the spot. This isn't a question I pre-asked or anything we talked about, but are there any other books you can think of? Because 54321 was really impactful for me. Any other book? And I know one that was super impactful for me and for Charlotte. For you, Karen, I'm not sure. And that was Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning. I know Charlotte is most of the time is a beast when it comes to the savers.
Yeah, I
That's a
also
good one.
think, is it Unreasonable Hospitality?
Yes.
Title
Yep.
like that? Phenomenal.
Mhm.
Actually,
I don't know that one.
Charlotte, I think
Oh,
you
it's
would be
awesome.
all over that
Okay.
one, especially
Okay.
in your role that you're in. And that's, kind of where I implement it too with my own clients, but then as a broker too, it's just so important.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It is good. And it's a lot of stories about, someone running a restaurant. It doesn't matter what business is when it comes to customer service, white glove customer service, right? Just going above and beyond and standing out. So, people come back and refer you. And Karen knows the story. Charlotte, I don't know if you know this story, but have you heard of the gas stations called Buc-ee's?
Yeah, we have
Okay.
them.
See? Okay, Buc-ee's, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm coaching a roofing company and I'm coaching his sales staff and they're in Texas. So I knew they were going to get it. And I said, I want you guys to be the Buc-ee's of roofing. But what blows me away is this is a gas station. And we were talking about a gas station, their branding, their service, their cleanliness, their customer service. You don't wait in line to get gas. They have so many booths. I mean, it is amazing, right? And it's a gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll go out of our way to go to the Buc-ee's.
Right. And we go out of our way to go to Buc-ee's, or I want a Buc-ee's t-shirt or whatever it is.
And we get squirreled all over pajamas for some ungodly reason. I don't know why.
We need to send Karen to Buc-ee's because then you'll understand what we're talking about.
That's it. No, it is an experience for sure. It is an experience for sure. So I was another book that has been something that first of all, it was just enjoyable to read. So as I'm writing a book right now, and I find myself writing in the same tone as is it John Acuff that did soundtracks? Is that right? Soundtracks.
Yep.
So soundtracks is one that I thought I use that dial. He says that, it's not about flipping the switch, it's about turning the dial. So that's just been something that has resonated with me a ton. And then Tanya, I am not going to remember this book, but I think we read it together. And it was the book where it talked about how to change what you're saying to yourself. You look at yourself from a distance. I'm not going to remember what book that is. I'll bring that next time.
I know it is. I know what yes, because I know what book you're talking about. And there are many books like it, like Chad Helmstead, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, those kind of books. But the one I know which one you're talking about. I have read it.
It was the neuroscientist that wrote it. And he was it was not like a very sparkly book because he's a neuroscientist, but the message, but I liked that book, and I will get the name of it because it was great. I liked that book because it gave 5 different, it was action steps, not philosophy, not warm and fuzzy. It was this is what you do in these situations. Find the one that works for you. And I really liked that. Chatter.
Yes.
I think we all read that as a team, I think, right?
Yeah, we did.
I think so.
However, I don't know that a lot of us read it.
That happens.
I know. And I'm not judging. However, I'm thinking that might be something we do I have 24 hours to decide. In fact, one of my clients texted me today and said, "What's our March challenge?" I'm like, "I don't know yet. Haven't decided." And she's like, "Really? You don't know?" I'm like, "Nope, I haven't decided. Maybe it's Chatter." I think maybe that's Chatter. We could do Chatter again.
It's a good one. It's a good book. It just has really good action steps that you can actually just take. I like books that actually give you things that you can do, not just the idea. So it was very good for that.
Yeah.
And I think it was last summer that you didn't give a new book one month and you asked all of us to revisit a book that we had already read. And I loved that idea because, when you were trying to figure out what the book was, I'm looking at all of my books on my desk and my shelf to see if I could find it because I have so many that it's been a long time since I've read them, and there's value in there, right? So I need to bring it forward again. So I like that idea of revisiting Chatter.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. And another book I just recently revisited that I think is really good. It's Bob Beaudine's, and I forgot the exact, isn't it called Bottom of the Pool?
Oh, I don't know. I know The Power of Who. I don't know the bottom of.
No, The
I don't
Power
know
of Who
that.
is phenomenal too. And I want to say it's the bottom of the pool. I'm going to go off camera if I
Yeah.
can. Let me see if it'll let me go off camera.
She did it.
She's getting good at this race
I
train
know,
stuff.
I know, right? Your background is beautiful.
Isn't it gorgeous? I
Yeah.
haven't been able to come outside all day today, and I'm like,
Oh,
I'm skipping my hike today to be on here with you guys. This is love, just so you know.
this is love. Thank you.
But I might. So right behind me, I'm going to show everybody. So behind me over here is Bell Rock,
Nice.
and I think as soon as we hang up here, I've got time to go get to the first level of Bell Rock to go watch the sunset. So that's my goal. I'm going to go
Oh,
watch the
that would be
sunset.
great. Yeah. Great way to end the
It
day.
it's the peace, there's I'm out here. My mom asked me today, she goes, "Are you gonna like stop working at any point?" I'm like, I mean, no.
Nope.
It's not the goal. The goal is to work, but talk about I envy
I'm
both
so
of you guys
envious
and your
that you're
women.
there.
I know.
But you guys do have the warm. I mean, when you're over there on that West Coast, you guys have a little bit warmer weather than we do in Kentucky, just a
Yes,
little bit.
just a little
So
bit.
I am definitely thinking I need to retire somewhere like this in the winter. And I'm gonna be a
Well,
snowbird for sure.
Funny you should say that. I have a perfect place for you in Oceanside coming on the market.
Oh, there you go.
It's well loved.
And actually I've been there. It's a great little place.
Yes.
Of course you.
All right, ladies, now that I'm blushing, I got the author wrong. So I apologize, Andy Andrews. It's Andy Andrews.
Okay.
I love this book.
Okay.
I don't think
The Bottom of the Pool. And I remember reading this a long time ago. And it's typically you get to the bottom of the pool and then you have to jump yourself to go up. You have to jump and go up.
Right.
And it's like, what's that jump going to look like to get you to the next level? I really like it. So anybody who's stuck, it's great because you've got to make that leap to get out, right? To go out of the pool, right? And I mean, you can swim slowly if you want to, but that's not what the book is. Not like swim really slow to get to the top, right? It's like push yourself off the bottom and go to the next level. Anyway, it's one of my favorites. Obviously, Miracle Morning, I look at every single year, and most of my books are packed right now. Most of them are just for staging on my shelf. But this is another one I really like.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
He's now that one is a really good audiobook. If you're an audiobook person,
yep. Very good.
It's him. He's got his accent, and it's a fantastic read. You could read that one over and over again.
Well, next time I drive to Oregon, I'll have to put it in my Audible.
Oh yeah, it's great. If you haven't listened to that audio, he's a hoot.
He is. It's really good. It's funny because most books I just do audio. Some books are so good that I'll also buy the book, and I kind of go back and forth so that I can make notes and such. But that's a really, really good one. And I won't order a book on Audible until I've listened to a little snippet to see what the voice is going to be like. Because when it's like the want, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'll read.
Hey, I'm going to jump in for a second. Hey, Trevor, long time no see. Thank you so much for hopping in. Trevor, please correct me, Trevor, if I'm wrong, and I apologize if I haven't seen it, but some of his lives and how he supports other business owners with his lives is amazing. So we have connected through LinkedIn. Trevor, yes, I am going from San Diego to Oregon. So heading closer to your location. He lives in Seattle or the Washington area.
Oh,
so
I'm coming there. Just wait. That's my next house buy. I want to be out in the islands up there. I want to be in the
San Juan
the Sound and the Puget Sound up in that area.
Yeah, well, I coach a few people in the Kitsap area, which is beautiful. And again, if I wish my grandkids would move there because I would move to that area I moved to Bend in a heartbeat because of grandbabies. But man, yes, Trevor, Bend. I love, that Kitsap area is cool. And if you've ever watched Jamie Jensen, she's a team leader in that part of Washington. She goes live every, I want to say Tuesday. It's like what Kitsap and beyond, and she does all the local activities in Kitsap. She's a great realtor, and has a great team. I coach some of her team members. I love Jamie's live. What's up in Kitsap? So he lives in
That's cool.
Bellingham, very close to the islands. There we go.
Yeah, I love it. It's gorgeous. Deception Pass is my favorite place so far in the United States. I haven't found a place I like better than Deception Pass. And if you haven't been there and you haven't
I
been
have
up there, you have no
not.
idea what I'm talking about. But it is
I have
breathtaking. You
to
gotta go
write
to
that
Deception
down and look it
Pass.
up.
So I am going to throw in there either going to Sedona or Deception Pass, because we flaked on you this year, Charlotte, and having a team Gold Diggers. Let's all get together and set our goals.
I'm down. That would be amazing.
That would be great.
September, October is the time to do it. And it's not too cold yet. And that's the time we start setting our goals for the next year. So I'm all in.
Would be awesome. I actually was just looking at Deception Pass. Deception Pass is a national or state park, so you can't do right there. But I was in that area looking at Airbnbs just this week. I'll be glad to find one for us.
Okay. I
great.
just delegate it.
That is one of my things I love to do. So yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
your explorer is already smiling from ear to ear.
For sure.
That would be great.
Absolutely. All right, ladies, it is 4:38. Anything else you want to say? Promote? Charlotte, do you want to promote Recharging with Champions? Karen, you've got anything coming up? This is speak now or forever hold your peace.
Sure. Hey, any realtors out there, if you're looking for video content, that's what Recharging with Champions is all about. Just go to www.rechargingwithchampions, spell the whole thing out, and you'll find all kinds of cool video content to make.
Awesome. On March 19th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, we have a rock star presentation for real estate agents, and it's all about leveling up your business. So join us for that. Yeah, it's free.
Is that going to be live as well? Are you going to do it Zoom?
Yes.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to join you for that. That sounds awesome.
Okay, good. That would be great. Yeah. You know what? I'll make sure that you get. Well, you're on my social. You'll see.
All right. So I'm going to also throw it out here, Karen. I will put it. What's the date for it? I apologize. My brain.
March 19.
Okay, so my next newsletter goes out on Tuesday. Send me an information. Send me a graphic. I'm going to promote Charlotte's Recharging with Champions, and I'll promote your class in my newsletter.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you.
Right.
For the support. We appreciate it.
I send out about 1,200 emails a week, and I have about a 62% open rate.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yep.
Really good.
Yep. Trevor, I used to coach somebody in Anacortes. I have been a long, long time ago, but many, many years ago, I coached somebody in Anacortes, and it is gorgeous. Great place to go whale watching.
Oh.
Yeah. So awesome. Trevor, find Charlotte. She's easy to find. Tell her what we need to do because we delegated the location to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm in 100% in. Especially September, October is going to be gorgeous. Awesome.
And there's no way, I already told my adult child and my grandchildren, there's no way I will be in Bend in January, February. I will be wherever my other child is or wherever you ladies want me to be. I'll come hang out in your guest room. But I do not need to live through another February shoveling my driveway every other day.
I love
for
it.
Sure.
I asked Tanya a question about her house, and she commented, "I only live where there's snow." And I said, "Keep telling yourself that, honey. Believe it." It was so exciting coming out of your mouth. I'm like,
I mean, before grandchildren, and someone said, Tanya, hey, we need you to move back to Maine because I lived in Maine for 10 years, so I'm not a stranger to snow. But I was in my 20s when that happened. So where I learned to fly was in Maine. There was just a hard no. It wasn't. I had to let me think about it. Maybe someday I'll move to the snow. It was just like no, thank you. Not happening.
And then
you know what they say, if you ever give the hard no, it's probably going to end up in your life again.
Well, I never heard that before, but it's true. Right. And then grandbabies came into the world. And so I have a 3-week-old grandson and a 3-year-old granddaughter, in the snow.
Right.
Guess where
and there you're going to go. There you're going to go. That's awesome.
And I have another granddaughter too, as well. So there's other reasons too. Cost of living, my HOA is $638 a month. And I know I'm not supposed to blast that out there right now since I'm putting my house on the market, but it's going to be well known what my HOA
It's
fee
just,
is.
yeah,
It's
that's
a
standard for the
great,
area.
There's a lot of
it's
great
standard for the
amenities
area.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And great amenities.
And great amenities and great neighbors and a very well maintained home. My contractor was out today, helping me move some things and paint some things and, all of that.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm not complaining. However, this single gal that can easily move from grandchild to grandchild. So
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. And Karen's kicking me under the table right now. I can feel it. All right, everybody. Thank you for the chatter. Thank you for joining in. We appreciate it. Ladies, thank you for your time. We'll do this
Of
again next
course.
month.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.